What's up, everybody? If you don't know, my name is Tosin Ogunjobi, and I have been building Compass in public. Compass is a Bitcoin-based personal finance app that allows you to see your spending and daily patterns priced in Bitcoin. Rather than focusing on traditional budgeting and spending, Compass helps users understand and improve their relationship with Bitcoin in a fiat-based system, right? So if you're spending money on coffee every single day, you're spending money on rent, you're spending money on this and that, and you want to be able to see that price in Bitcoin to be able to understand and make better financial decisions, this has been the app for you. And I've been trying to build this out in public for, a couple months now and, getting feedback to be able to really perfect it into the world. And I just want to come back and show you guys some of the progress and some of the reviews and feedback I've been getting to, help shape out the app. So to get started, this is what Compass looks like, right? You see your dashboard, you get to see your net worth, you get to see the Bitcoin price and, your accounts and spending price in Bitcoin. So I can come here to like my network note workbook, and all of this is fake data, by the way. But being able to see it with this clear lens now, like being able to know that, like, if I have a 401k, it's worth 2 Bitcoin. Seeing I have an IRA, it's worth 0.24 Bitcoin, and so on, right? But then when it comes to like, everyday spending, I can start seeing it priced in Bitcoin here as well too. Whereas I said, if you're spending money on coffee every single day and you want to be able to know how much that's really costing you in the long run, this is something that you can visually see and say, okay, is spending, this much sats on on coffee worth it? You start to have that, new psychology and lens when it comes to your spending patterns. And this has essentially been my entire goal for myself. And I feel like other people have, you know, wanted to be able to see the same thing, and they'd have less of remorse for spending Bitcoin in 2014 on, like, certain things they probably shouldn't have, but to give you guys like a clear picture of like how the app works at first, my core goals were essentially just, be able to have users be able to track their Bitcoin balances across their wallets and, see it with your net worth, measure your spending in sats, track Bitcoin saving goals, whether that be stacking up for 1 Bitcoin, being able to, save for a car, a vacation, and whatever the case may be, being able to have your monthly reflection price in Bitcoin as well, where you can see again, I've distinguished it into a couple different categories, whether that be Bitcoin, necessary, discretionary, or wasteful. So you can be able to see clearly now, like, what that distribution of your spending was. And then, the core goal really is just, change the psychology. I've been using this app myself for like, a couple months now, and I've been able to, like, kind of like taper back on some of the spending that I was, doing, because Bitcoin changes you from a, mindless consumer to a thoughtful saver. And that's been something that I've been, noticing. So I'm actually just gonna take it to like where I want to start at. Like I'm talking too long, but I put out the app and I tried to, like, market it on Reddit, and I wanted to get feedback from users. So I posted here, I started building a Bitcoin portfolio tracker because I was tired of the existing options, and this is what I learned. I made this post to be able to get feedback and, see if I get users. And I'm just actually going to get into like some of the feedback that I got and why I want to, continue to do this in public, right? So the biggest takeaways that I got versus what my original idea was is I wanted it to be, cloud-based, where, like, everything was going to be, stored in, an authenticated database where it's also encrypted as well, where all the storage and like user stuff was there. Even though I couldn't see it, I still want to be able people to be able to, like, access it on different devices as well, like, for your phone or, different computer, whatever the case may be, right? But I got a lot of these posts or comments where, this one kind of stood out to me a lot, and then this other one I'm going to go to, but not sure how reading my balance and transaction history is supposed to help with your development of the app. Doesn't help that you don't sell it. Fact is, some dude off Reddit will be able to read your entire transaction history plus balance. No thanks, I'll stick to my spreadsheet monthly. And again, I would never be able to see your transaction history or even your XPub or whatever the case may be because it was in an encrypted database, but I understand why this person would feel this way in terms of privacy. The next thing I got was there was another comment. I think it was this one. Yeah, you shouldn't have to create an account. What the F? And yeah, once I saw this is I started like kind of thinking more, and I started to say, okay, Bitcoiners take not only their money seriously, but their privacy as well. Whether that be, a lot of people will kind of like lean away from, KYC based apps where you have to like, reveal your identity or whatever the case may be. And people want to just be able to just do what they want to do without having to, reveal who they are. And that's real. I understand that, right? So when I was looking through this and, reading through the feedback, it led me to start thinking, okay, rather than going with this cloud-based approach, and I've kind of listed out the problems here, is that users didn't want to like, create accounts. They didn't want their XPubs stored remotely, even if everything was encrypted. They wanted full ownership, and they questioned the trust of the app. And I agree with that. And I think that's fair to say. So I've switched to a new model where not only will you be able to have the cloud-based approach, but you'll be able to also have the desktop application as well, right? Where users can create a passphrase, it saves all your data on your computer. Everything's going to be encrypted again as well locally, stored in JSON. And again, it's a new desktop app that looks like this, right? And you can actually come to the website and download it if you want to. So if I just download this, it's available in Mac, Windows, Linux, and iPhone. Android is coming soon. And you'll be able to then download this desktop app and you can then purchase a license, right? So rather than having to, make an account, go to compassbtc.app and, put in your email, whatever the case may be, you can now just come to the website, download the app, the executable file, or if you're on Mac, the .dmg, or Linux as well, and just do everything here. And I wanted to have that transparency where people can like now have like a little bit more trust as well too. But then when I did that, I posted another thread on Reddit, and I got now these comments, right? So if I look here, posted this and I shared it with everybody like the learnings I got from the previous one, and people then started to say stuff like this, right? Unless it's open source, we don't know if this is doing what your ask claim it is. People are calling it AI slop, and I'll be real, it is what it is. But I'm just going to continue to just keep working hard and trying to get this as best as it can be, because I've taken a couple months to build this, but I'm going to continue to just keep working and making it the best it can be, even if it just helps one person. That's more than zero, and that's really important. Yeah, so I got these comments too, and again, I want to continue to be transparent, so that led me to actually then open source. Yeah, so I then open sourced the Compass core code, right? So now if you come to this GitHub repo, and I'll put this in the description as well, you can now see how like the XPub reading works. Again, even if it is your XPub and it's not, your actual private keys, like your XPub allows you to be able to see your, your transactions from, previous time. I've implemented here, and you guys can see like how that actually works, how the wallet is derived. All of this is open source, as I've mentioned. You can see how things are stored locally on your device. You can see here the storage, what the schema looks like, how the memory works, everything here. Because I want to continue to just be transparent as I can with how Compass is being developed, and how secure your data is going to be in the process of me building this app. Again, I just wanted to do this really quick video to just show again some of the learnings that I've been taking away from this whole process. Why I'm taking it so seriously, especially when it comes to just feedback. Like even if these people download it or don't download it, like just getting the feedback in general is just really important for me to be able to come out with a good product that people can benefit from. Um, Again, I feel like this has been an app that has been able to help me with understanding like my financial picture a lot better when I do price it in Bitcoin. I feel like there's going to be a lot more features that I do add into this to expand it to be the best Bitcoin personal finance app that is on the market. Um, and yeah, I'll do a demo probably in the next video where you guys can be able to see like where I've gone and taken this since then. But I do want to also mention here on the desktop app, You can also pay for it in Bitcoin too. And I'm actually going to go through the process of like what that looks like just really quickly. So let's just say I wanted to, again, I downloaded the desktop app. I can come here. So if I already have a license key, I can input that. But if I wanted to buy a new one, come here. I have my phone. I'm about to, scan this real quick. If I wanted to pay for like a month in Bitcoin, I'm just gonna put a fake email. And then I can choose to either pay it on chain or I can pay it with Lightning, right? So in this case, I'm just gonna pay with Lightning. Let's see what this looks like. So it creates this invoice, and now I have Strike, and I'm going to pay. And again, I haven't had to like make an account or reveal who I am when I downloaded the desktop app. I'm gonna pay for this. 1 second. All right, so now I have the invoice, and again, I'm just gonna pay. And now I'm in, right? And I now get to, build my account from scratch. So I can come here and put in my name. I can go through with the app. I'm just gonna put out like fake stuff here. Impulsive shopping. That's my guilty pleasure. My goal is to get 5 Bitcoin. Set this goal. A male who is 25. I'm going to continue. I learned about it from X. And then, as I mentioned again, when you're on the desktop app, none of this is going to a server. And if I had Fiddler, if you want to be able to, I've also included like all the network calls it makes as well too. But nothing is going to a server. Everything is going to be saved locally, and I can, include where that's going to be saved in as well in the GitHub repo. But I can put in Xpub if I wanted to. Put here Bitcoin. I can add my accounts. Let's just say I have a checking account. It has $500 in it. Can add that account, continue, and now I'm in, right? And I get to see, my life price in Bitcoin. I can start adding spending and stuff. And again, this is the desktop app. This is the desktop app, so you guys can see that there. You can put in. Yesterday, I spent $10 on Taco Bell. Just do that. Just say it was sure. Yeah. So this is the app again for everyone who's interested and curious. I'm going to continue to just make more demos and videos and show again the process of me building this in public and like the lessons that I'm learning as well. So I appreciate you guys watching. And one thing I do feel called to do is to just pray for I'm not going to do this often, but I just do want to pray because I feel like God has been leading me in a way that is towards His plan for me. So just going to do that. Heavenly Father, thank you for just, waking me up today. Thank you for allowing me to, work on the things that I enjoy and take pride in. Allow me to, continue to just trust in your plan for me and allow me to be able to let go of things that are out of my control. Allow me to, move forward into the future with, clear conscience, clear mind. Allow me to be able to just be successful in the things that I do. Allow everything to play out if it is according to your plan, God. And I pray that you, continue to just watch over those who I care for deeply and, potential users if the case may be as well too. And just allow me to just be able to be a service to them as well. And everything that you, continue to do in my life, I just continue to just thank you. And I know that you will continue to just guide me in the right direction and, surround me with the right people, resources I can to be successful. In your holy name I pray. Amen. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video and the rest of the day, and I will see you.